Hello everybody and welcome to episode 19 of my Minecraft Server Series. In this episode, we are having a look at expanding our footprint a little bit. Last episode, we went ahead and made the animal pen over there. And as you can see, we have got some animals over there. I have started putting some pigs and I have got some sheep over there as well, but we're still missing a couple of animals. But the animal farm is there and it is working perfectly. It is quite nice having those resources there. Now, unfortunately, over the last week, I've been very, very busy with work and I've also been very under the weather. So I haven't been able to get on much, but when I have been preparing for two really big projects. Well, I say really big, they're kind of medium projects, but let's have a look around this way, shall we? So, over here, and I will just quickly show you in here. So we've got our pigs that I've been breeding and using, as they say. I've also adjusted the farm that we had over here, our wheat farm, to give us some more carrots so we can breed the pigs. And then we've got a small army of chickens, which do just give out eggs completely. I mean, this is like an egg farm. But luckily I can use these eggs to make some more chickens, wait for them to go up. And then again, I can use those to feed myself. Obviously, I want some sheep and I want some cows as well, but they will come in time. In this barrel, I'm keeping everything to do with these guys. So obviously, you've got the carrots for the pigs, you've got the wheat for the sheep and the cows, and then you've got the wheat seeds for the chickens. But obviously, the chickens also have eggs, so that kind of helps. And then in here, I have got two villagers. I've got my wonderful farmer over here, which is completely maxed out, which is quite nice to have. And then we've got our friendly little butcher here, which is just waiting for a few more bits and pieces. I mean, I can't even scroll. So, but a few more raw chickens and things like that. When I get the sheep and cows in, I can also trade the raw mutton and beef, which would be quite nice. So hopefully, in due course, we can get those sorted. So that is our bit. I've also had a juggle around with my mods folder as well. So some of the mods inside my mod folder have changed. And one of those additions also meant a subtraction from one. So one of my friends who wanted to do a little bit more on the server with a little project of his wanted to add the immersive portals mod. So I went ahead and I added it. Now it's still a little bit wonky. You can see as I go through the different dimensions, the camera, I'm not moving my mouse at all. But you can see, there you go. That's really quite weird. I do quite like the immersive portals mod, I'm not going to lie. But unfortunately, the immersive portals mod was creating some issues with my TARDIS mod. So unfortunately, my TARDIS mod had to go. Hence there's no TARDIS out here, and when I walk around my base, there's no TARDIS in my base either. It's a bit sad, but I didn't mind it too much for various reasons. But I was happy to make that change, and do you know what? I do quite like having the immersive portals mod. So, yeah. That's been a change. There's been a few more changes which I might talk about either later on this episode or brush over next episode. But the main thing for this episode, other than this that I've also put together, It is a bamboo planks generator. Obviously, we've got these bamboo sticks, which are growing rather well. Obviously, when I cut them down, I stick them all into this chest here. If I ever want bamboo planks, I unlock the hopper, and then pull this lever, which activates these crafters here. The crafter pulls the bamboo sticks down, makes them into the logs in here, and then the logs get put into here, which gives us the planks, which is quite nice. It's almost free and renewable wood, which is quite nice. So yeah, that's a little project that I kind of put together. So little redstone, it was quite nice. But the main objective for today, you know when people say we'll cross that bridge when we come to it? Well, unfortunately, there is no bridge to come to yet, and that's what I want to have a look at today, along with another project. So, in this chest here, we have got all the materials I'm going to need to make the bridge. Now, I didn't know what design I wanted until I was at work one day, and I popped out for some lunch and things like that, and I was quite intrigued about the design of bridge that we have just down the road from work. Now, you'll see it take shape, and I'm literally taking a third of this bridge that I generally walk down to grab my lunch. So what you will see me build during this episode is actually taken from a real-life bridge out in the UK. And I think that's kind of cool. And there might have been better ways to do it, but the way I'm doing it in this episode is the best way I can see. It fits my image of the bridge better than any other techniques. But then again, it's Minecraft, so, you know, we do what we can. What I will mention is that dirt pillar with the rose on top, that marks the center, the middle bit of this patch. So the bridge will start here on this row of sand, and it'll go across to the second row of dirt over there. On the other side, I'm going to clear that section of forest and put down our testing shed. And in actual fact, if we have a wander over there, not only have I started putting down the resources for the testing shed, the testing bunker, that I'm actually going to call it, in this shulker box here, but I've also laid out the footprint as well. So this is one corner, that's another corner, and it'll stretch all the way up over to here. So let's see. So from, I can't even quite see, there's too much fern in the way, that's my problem. But yeah, from this plank here to that plank there, that's how big the testing shed is. And that's where we'll test some redstone contraptions, might even set up some temporary villages to do some bits and pieces. And yeah, it just kind of expands our footprint a little bit. So we'll have the main base here, we'll have the animal farm here, which used to be our starter base, which is quite nice. And then a bridge over to this bit here, where we'll test the bits, test things away from all of our important items. So yeah, that's the plan for this episode. Bridges and bunkers, essentially. So I'm just gonna sleep here. and then we will get to work. Yeah. No point in delaying any further. Other than the other thing that I've also done really quickly is obviously we've got a path over that way to another project that will come soon enough, but I've also made a path down this way, which not only brings us to something I'll talk about next episode, but it brings us to our pit that we've gone right down to bedrock in, and maybe between this episode and next, I'm looking at building a little scuba hut over here. This diorite shows the dimensions of the water wheel currently refueling my air tank over in the main base. So it needs to fit in this bit here. So the hut, as it were, will fit on this set of blocks here. I might use half slabs, vertical half slabs, just around here. Doesn't need to be big, just needs to hold an armor stand with my helmet on, the water wheel with the air tank. But yeah, just try to expand a little bit and make it a little bit more productive around here, because with the updates of some of my mods, I have also updated a very important mod in my pack, which I will get to next episode. But without further ado, I think we should definitely get this bridge going. So let's get to it. And here is our completed bridge, and I think it looks fantastic. Now I think this end of it is slightly different. I might need to extend this end literally by about 1 block somewhere, and I can't think where. But it will do for now. It does the job. It is a bridge. We can walk across it from one side to the other. What I've also done, and I'll just keep myself in F1 mode for the moment, I've also added that support beam in the middle as well. So that kind of supports the middle section, so that, you know, if this was real life, it wouldn't droop in the middle. But yeah. Although then again, is it in the middle? I don't know. I'm sure I've put it in the middle. If not, I can move it. I can rebuild it. But yeah, this is the bridge. Now the real life one, the one just over from where I work, does have wire fence in this gap and things like that. But this is Minecraft. The other difference is, well, the bridge I walk on crosses near a train track and over the top of a car park, hence the wire fence. So whereas here it's literally just water, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But it just does connect the two sections together, and then we can get to this section, which is where our bunker is going to be. So I guess without further ado, now that we've done the bridge, we got to do this next bit. So over this next time lapse, I'm going to clear the forest, flatten the land, and build the bunker, the test bunker, for all our testing purposes. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get to it. Okay, so as you can see, it's not completely finished yet, and that's because I've ran out of resources, which is annoying. But you can kind of see it all taking shape. The whole thing I wanted for this testing bunker is for it to feel the same and connected to the main base. So where you've got the white terracotta and the deep slate, you've kind of got a similar color pattern going on here, but it's a testing thing. So we might be blowing things up. We might be testing TNT contraptions in here. You might also be doing some other bits and pieces, creeper testings. You never know. So I kind of want it to be a little bit more hard-wearing than the deep slate. So I've used a little bit more blackstone. I've used blackstone instead of deep slate to look a little bit more hard-wearing. I know I've probably got the two the wrong way around. The durability of blackstone is probably less than deep slate, but it works in my head. And besides, I'm going to put obsidian on the floor. So that is that. But anyway, as I keep crossing this bridge, actually let me put this deep slate down, and then I need to go and sleep. But essentially I need some more deep slate to fill in the roof, and as you can see I don't have any obsidian to put. Thank you for facepalming. I don't have any obsidian to actually put in the floor at the moment, so I need to go and get some of that. And for the roof, I'm going to do a similar thing as I did with the main base with the redstone lamps. So I'll have to procure those as well. But that I can kind of do between episodes, so I can go out, gather the resources, and finish up the testing bunker before next episode. Because just thinking about it, what have I got in here? I've got 18 obsidian. That's not going to work well for the floor. And I've got no more in there, so that's really helpful. So yeah, actually, I'm going to go round over this way, because a change has been made in here. As you can see, we now have a new mason in town. Unfortunately, when I got rid of the TARDIS mod, our nice friendly neighbourhood Tucker, he lost his profession. So unfortunately there is no engineers anymore, which is annoying, which means all these amethyst shards are just now gathering dust. But something I can kind of pop down, because honestly it's been hit and miss with my appearance here on the server. So So yeah, down at the bottom of the pit, not only have we got mobs spawning, you can go away. Yep, come on. Gotta love the ping. But I've also started channeling through some new mines. So I've got 4 directions that I can go at bedrock level. But there you go. I I have a hole straight from world build limit right down to bedrock, which is quite nice. Right, let's see if we can do this without stalling. Because what I'd like to show you, so that I can actually start using it, I've been keeping these here because we've just dug a whole chunk down straight to bedrock. This is all the resources we have got from that mining escapade. And top one, there is a lot there. And then these are the valuables that I've managed to get out of it. This is before I had my silk touch, obviously. But then this is with my silk touch. And then break those with some fortune. We've got some heavy resources here. So now I kind of just want to move on to a little bit of the other changes around here. So one of the mods that I have updated recently is the Stargate mod, which has allowed me to silk touch these budding crystal blocks. So now I have a farm for all our Stargate needs. And there is a reason for that. Because with the new update comes so many new things. New features, new blocks, new textures. So you'll notice that the DHD has changed its texture here. And if I just walk up to this back wall, you will see an outline of something. Now there is a slight bug with some of the textures here, but if I were to press F3 and T to reload those textures, now this might take a minute. Well, I was kind of hoping that was going to work. I might have to look into that. I've got some more here. That's really annoying. That's worked previously. I will try and get that sorted for when I need it, which isn't now, but essentially what we've got is a few extra items that I need to scroll through this menu to get these bits. These are cartouches, which we'll dive more into after next episode. But essentially you can craft these using blocks and things, so I have done that. And they can hold Stargate addresses. Only one. You can only print a single Stargate address on a single cartouche. So the one that it's invisible here has the address for this Stargate here. What I'm going to be doing in here, especially after I've moved this into the new scuba shed, is here are some endstone cartouches that I have crafted. There you go. When we find new Stargates, I am going to start putting them up on the walls so that eventually we'll have an entire catalogue of Stargate addresses, and obviously we'll have the notebooks as well, but they might have the more important addresses in them. But yeah, I just want to touch on that and touch on the new Stargate update because is there anything needed in here? No, that's fine. So here is what's going to happen. This episode was kind of tying together a little bit of the base progress and finishing some bits up. So between this episode and next episode, I'm going to finish off the testing bunker, and I'm going to create the scuba shed and move that water wheel into said scuba shed, and I'll show that off at the beginning of next episode. Next episode is primarily getting prepped for the following 10 episodes, which is going to focus all on the Stargate update, which is something that I've kind of been looking forward to for a while. It's the main reason I have modded Minecraft. It is the main reason that I kind of not play the game, but, you know, once upon a time you had Stargate Network, and I think on Steam you have Stargate Timekeepers, I think it's called. But there aren't that many intuitive and well thought out Stargate games. So this is by far the best possible stand-in for a Stargate game. Minecraft with a Stargate mod. Why not? And with other mods you can improve things and add things, and it's really kind of cool. So, yeah. Obviously, this is where the TARDIS used to be. I do miss it, but it was a worthy sacrifice. And here is our to-do list. So, if we edit this now, let's go through. So, continue the pit. We have finished the pit. So that's sorted. That's not a problem. Start on Animal Farm. I've done that. So what we're going to do is we are going to put finish. Can I put the word farm in here? No. Sorted. And where's the other bits? Crystal Farm is done. I won't tick off the testing shed until that's complete, so we'll do that at the beginning of next episode. But the bridge is built, so that leaves that one blank. So there you have it. We have ticked some bits off on our to-do list, which is always so helpful. Now, I have no idea how long this episode is and how long it's going to be. It might be a slightly shorter episode, this one, but I think I am, once I've killed this creeper, because it needs to get off my land. Come on. Shoot. Thank you. I need to now go sit down and edit this video. But other than that, I think that's literally all about the time we have for this episode. Just look at that. That's not too bad. I quite like how that's all kind of turned out. And then once the bunker's finished, I'll make a path from the bridge to the bunker. But no, that's all I have time for this episode. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.